My name is Harry, and I'm 33 years old. I've been in a relationship with my ex-wife, Anita, who is 30 years old, for 8 years, and we've been married for 5 of those years. We both had jobs that made us delay having kids, but we had other amazing plans for our future. Throughout those 8 years we were together, we never had any disagreements about the direction we wanted to take or the goals we had for our future. But it all changed around February when my wife started a new job, and that was when she met this guy who was her coworker. After she got back from her 2-week training, that was when I started seeing that she was chatting a lot with this guy. Now, I've never been a jealous type, and I understand that her industry is dominated by male, so she's often surrounded by them. I've always trusted her and never questioned her loyalty for once, but I couldn't help but notice how frequently she was engaging with this guy. I brought this up twice around March, expressing my concerns about their closeness, but she reassured me that he was just a friend, and that I have nothing to worry about, and that they both shared common interests, like being Christians, and that they chatted a lot about the Bible. She even said that she would stop talking to him if I felt uncomfortable, but I knew they were going for training together again at the end of March, and I realized it would be impossible to stop her from talking to him, so I didn't push the issue further. I always made sure to check in on with my wife to see if she was happy in our marriage, or if there was anything I could do to improve things, but I never received any negative feedback from her, and even as recently as mid-March, she was telling me that I was the best thing that ever happened to her. However, things took a turn when she left for the job training in a different location at the end of March. In the first few days, everything seemed normal between us, I guess, but as the week progressed, we started to fight a lot. I'll admit, some of it was my fault because I was going through some personal stuff and was feeling quite emotional, but there was something else bothering me too. She seemed distant and expressed some strange ideas about the future that didn't sound like her at all. This made me feel uneasy because we hardly ever argued about anything. I can't even remember the last time we had a big fight before April. It was a confusing and challenging time for both of us, and I felt really bad about arguing with her because I knew how important it was for her. The cause of our fight was her not maintaining clear boundaries with this guy from work, and it was obvious to me that he was romantically interested in her. After a while, she brought up the need for space and time to think about our marriage and our future, something she had never done before. She'd assured me that she still loved me, but things weren't the same anymore. Mind you, she was still away for her job training. Honestly, I was confused, but I respected her request for space because I didn't fully understand what was going on. After a couple of days, she dropped the bombshell of divorce during a FaceTime conversation. It was devastating, and at that moment, I still didn't have a clear grasp of the situation, but deep down, I had a gut feeling that she might be leaving me for this other guy. It was a roller coaster of emotions and uncertainty for me, but I maintained my cool. When she finally returned after the training, I went to the airport to pick her up. As soon as I saw her, something felt off. She didn't even give me a hug after not seeing each other for weeks. When we got home, she didn't bother unpacking her luggage. That night, she looked me in the eyes and told me directly that she wanted a divorce and that she no longer loved me. It was incredibly tough and hurtful, but I was still holding onto the hope that maybe our arguments and my emotional ups and downs had contributed to her feelings, so I tried to work things out. The very next day, to my surprise, she started acting differently. She claimed she wanted to clean the house and create nice memories for the last couple of days before she left. I sensed something wasn't right, and I knew she was hiding things from me. Why the sudden change of behavior? I asked myself. So, for the first time in 8 years, I went through her phone. There, I discovered that even before she came back home, she was already in a relationship with that coworker guy, and they had even signed a lease to move in together. This all happened within the few weeks she left for her training. She had told this guy that she was willing to give up everything to start anew with him. It was a devastating revelation, and it left me feeling even more hurt and confused. I still feel terrible to this day for going through her phone because it's something I had never done before, and I felt like I had crossed a line. However, at that moment, I decided to screenshot their conversations and acted like nothing happened, just to see how far she would go with all the lies she had been telling me. In the days that followed, I kept asking her questions about her and this coworker, but I never got any honest answers. Finally, that night when we were talking, I got really frustrated and angry, and I started pressing her for the truth. She turned it around and blamed me for my own issues, saying that's why we could never be together. Even during our heated arguments, she continued to lie. Eventually, she decided to leave that night. Seeing her leave and knowing it might be the last time I see her, it was one of the hardest moments in my life. I kept asking her to be honest with me and show some respect for our marriage until the very end, but she just left. As soon as she was gone, I sent her all the screenshots I had taken and told her that I already knew everything. I admitted that I was testing her to see how far she would go with her deception. She then claimed that they only started their relationship after she brought up divorce, so she argued that it wasn't cheating. She also said that she had been wanting out of the marriage for a long time, but was just waiting for the right moment because she perceived me as controlling and abusive. She had been an amazing partner for 7 years, and it's tough for me to understand how she could change so drastically in such a short period of time. I'm still left with a lot of confusion and questions. A few days after she moved out, I didn't waste any time, and I hired a lawyer to file for divorce. She didn't want any of the belongings I got her, the house, the cars, or any financial support. She just wanted to end things. It's not a decision I wanted to make, but I couldn't risk her changing her mind, so I went ahead with the divorce process. It was a tough journey, but I tried to stay strong and move forward. I wanted to make sure she learned a valuable lesson before I walked away for good, because what she did was hurtful, and I was feeling really upset. So, I decided to act without causing any harm to myself. I gathered all the screenshots of her conversations with her coworker, and then I sent it to their boss. My hope was that this would help them understand the consequences of their actions and know how to treat others with respect in the future. Fortunately for me, the evidence was enough to get them both fired from the company, as it was against the company's policy for staff to engage in any form of romance with each other. Even though I still feel hurt by the betrayal, I didn't want to stoop to her level and ruin my own reputation in the process. It's been a few months since she told me she wanted a divorce, and I'm happy to say that I'm doing a lot better now. She contacted me a while back to try to beg for forgiveness and even said she was having trouble finding a job, and that the guy is having second thoughts on their relationship since he lost his job because of her. I just told her I didn't want anything to do with her anymore, and that she's no longer my responsibility. If she thinks I will help her in any way, then she's absolutely nuts. During this time, I've been trying to focus on myself and work towards building a new life and becoming a better person. I understand that neither of us were perfect, but what hurt me the most was how quickly everything changed. In less than 2 months, she went from being in our marriage to being in a new relationship and now living together with this person. It's been hard to grasp how all the memories we shared, the things we built together, and the plans we had for the future could seemingly vanish overnight because of someone new in her life. However, I've come to realize that dwelling on the past won't help me move forward. Instead, I want to focus on the positive aspects of my life and the opportunities that lie ahead. I'm learning to accept that some things are beyond my control, and I'm determined to create a bright future for myself. I truly believe that as time goes on, I'll heal fully and there will be new adventures for me. So this is my story. Did I do the right thing? Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Until next time, I'll see you again. Take care.